Hey people, Edgar Allan Poe. I'm gonna talk about my favorite writers, like old time writers, like from a while ago, Um, and then my newest ones, that are from this decade. um, and I'm gonna read a poem by Edgar Allan Poe called Annabel Lee as well. So, my old time favorite authors, writers, story thing, yeah, is William Shakespeare. My favorite story by him is Hamlet. And I have the book at my aunt's house. I wish I had it here though, because I never got to finish it. So, yeah. I was reading with my Aunt Jessica, and, well, I left it at my great aunt's house. My great aunt Ginny. She speaks Swedish pretty well, fluently actually. Pisses me off, because I don't understand a fucking word she's saying. Anyway, um, but I was reading it. My aunt Jessica used to go to Berkeley in San Francisco. And by the way, if any of you guys ever go to San Francisco, go to Nations. It's a restaurant that you could get the best omelets, and go during strawberry season because they have the best strawberry tarts in the world. I just love them. And sometimes they play really good songs. Like, okay, I'm kind of weird. I like Cats on Broadway, and I like that song Memory. Yeah, I'm pretty damn weird. So I also like Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's pretty cool. Awkward. Anyway, sorry, I have ADHD, so I kind of go on flip flopping from different subjects. I think my grandma, my great. Okay, my mom got married, so she's my new grandma. I think she was listening to what I was doing. Anyway, um, so I like William Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe. I think those are the only ones I like. I don't really know right now. I haven't gotten a chance to read some old ones. I like the author of Harry Potter. I can't remember the name right now. J.K. Rowling, I think. What are you chewing on? My dog's chewing on something. Oh my gosh, I just cut my hair and it's like I cut it myself with a razor that, those like letter openers, and they had like the razor with the blade in it, and I kind of made it look choppy because I got tired of my old haircut. So I don't think my mom notices, so that's pretty good, or else she'd get really pissed off. But anyway, going back on to my favorite authors, I like Stephanie Meyer. She was the one who wrote Twilight Saga, and The Host, and all that stuff. I want to read that book. I didn't get the chance to read The Host. I wanted to though. But my mom doesn't know what's about, so she needs to look it up online, make sure it's not about vampires. She hates the fact that I got obsessed with vampires. Yeah. It's her fault. She shouldn't have gotten me into Little Vampire, and then I started loving vampires, and then anyway. I get obsessed very easily, and again, I'm going off subject. Sorry. Anyway, this is a very awkward video. I don't think people with ADHD should do videos, because they go flip-flopping from different sentences. And I took my medication, what the fuck? Anyway, that's an awkward conversation, and my phone keeps ringing. Quit calling me. I'm just gonna start reading now. This poem is pretty sad if you know what it means. And so, yeah. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved and with a love that was more than love. I and my Annabel Lee. With a love that though winged seraphs, which means angels, of heaven coveted her and me. Coveted means envied. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel, so that her high-born kinsman came. Kinsman is a relative, by the way. And bore her away from me. And bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre. I don't know what that means. Or I don't know how to say it, but it means a tomb, which basically means she died in this kingdom by the sea. Hate being sick. The angels not half so happy in heaven went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above or the demons down under the sea can never dissever, which means to separate, my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide, I lay down by the side of my darling, my life, my bride. In the sepulchre, which means the grave, a tomb, there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Which, that, if you think about it, if you break it down, it's basically, the maiden Annabel Lee, which is the one he fell in love with, and they were both, it was basically when they say, she was a child and I was a child, it was basically like, hard to explain that, so I'm just gonna skip that. You guys can probably figure that out though. This kingdom, so basically, and since the angels were coveted, which means envy, obviously, and since the angels envied them, they kind of, I guess you could say, grew jealous or something, and made a wind blow that got her sick, and eventually she died. Like, basically it says, a wind, and this is the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a tomb, basically. I'm not going to say the other words, I don't know how to say it. In this kingdom by the sea, so basically, they did it to kill her, because they were jealous, or envied, so, yeah. Oh, I so know that word. Isn't that in, Gaelic? Where'd it go? Angus, an Irish mythology Irish mythology, the god of love. Ooh, cool. Sorry, I was just kind of went to a different poem there because I saw it was like right next to it. So, But yeah, that's basically one of the sad ones. How does that make any sense? And then, if none of you have heard of Telltale Heart, if you guys went to Yodelin Middle School last year and you were in 8th grade, you should have read it, because that was one of the mandatory ones. And we also went to go see it as a play at some auditorium thing from, I don't know, I can't remember. It was like a field trip for the 8th graders where we went to go see it as a play, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty wicked. I liked it. It was really cool. And this one's like kind of scary and nerve-wracking because basically he killed this old man. Like, he worked for this old man and who had a glass eye. And the glass eye would always torture him, and it would always he felt like it was staring deep in his soul, and basically he grew so crazy he went killer crazy and just killed him and buried him in the floorboards. And the neighbors, I guess, heard something, called the police. The police came over, and he almost got away with it if he hadn't been hallucinating that the heart of the guy was beating still. And it drove him so crazy. He eventually screamed and went, "There under the floorboards, it's the beating of the hideous heart." And then, yeah, basically ends there. He goes, "Villains," I shrieked. "Dissemble no more. I admitted of the deed. Tear up the plank. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, here. It's the beating of his hideous heart." So basically, he went crazy, admitted to the murder, and yeah. So Edgar Allan Poe, if you just look at his stories, he's basically, it makes him sound like he has major issues. Like, half of his stories have to do with someone going crazy, someone dying, and he writes tragedies. Not humor or comedy, it's tragedies. It's tragic. All of them have something to do with either dying, going crazy, going psycho killer on everybody. Like, I would be kind of freaked out if I lived near somebody that went psycho killer crazy and killed an old man. Just saying. Anyway, I gotta go do chores. So, and call back whoever kept calling me. So, um, yeah. And I gotta go take medicine for my freaking cold or whatever the fuck I have. Oh yeah, now my throat starts backing up. Alright, so. And also I gotta drink some coffee. Oh my god, I need coffee. I didn't have any yesterday. I myself almost went psycho killer crazy. Because I didn't have coffee. Anyway, that's something you expect Matthew Lush to say. You know, like, Matthew Lush loves coffee, and he can't live without it. Probably, if you took all of his coffee away, he would probably go psycho killer crazy. No offense, Matthew, but kind of expect that if somebody goes without coffee, who like loves it so much, they have it every day and like, millions of cups every day, that they'd go psycho killer crazy without it. So anyway, this video is like really long and it's about to cut me off, so I gotta go. I love you, Matthew. Not trying to insult you, just saying. Anyway, love you guys. Get your heart on. Peace out, guys. Oh my